Hello everyone. I've been frequently asked how to install Xojo on Ubuntu. So what I'll do is I'll go through a few steps here where we're actually going to use VirtualBox, install that on Windows. Then we're going to run Ubuntu in the VirtualBox, and then we're going to add Xojo into Ubuntu. So let's get started. First step, let's actually download VirtualBox. So just use your Google search engine and click in VirtualBox download. I just clicked on the link here. It comes up, and because I'm on Windows, I'm going to click on the Windows hosts, and it's going to start downloading. So I'm going to pause it here until the download finishes. Okay, VirtualBox has been downloaded, and in my download folder, I have VirtualBox 7.010, and it's about 108 megabytes. So what we'll do, just traditional Windows form, just double click it and we'll install it. So we go through the typical steps. Next, leave everything the default methods. Next, don't worry about the network interfaces. We're going to keep everything with all the defaults. We're going to install, and this is going to take maybe a little while. Once again, I'll pause it just so that way you can get the condensed details. Okay, it's finished installing. So start Oracle after installation? Absolutely. So let's press finish, and here we go. So now we have our virtual machine. What we need to do next is we need to download the Ubuntu ISO file. So we'll say download Ubuntu. Here's a link right on the ubuntu.com website, and it says we want to click on downloads, which is perfect. Ubuntu release notes, and let's go download. Get Ubuntu desktop, that's what we're looking for, and down here it says Ubuntu desktop. We click the Ubuntu desktop and we click download Ubuntu, and scrolling down the page it says download 22043. So we do that, and it's going to be starting to download. I'll pause it once again. It takes a little while to download because it's about 4 to 5 gigabytes. Okay, the Ubuntu ISO file has downloaded. So now that we have it downloaded, let's get our virtual machine and let's set that up. So we're going to press new. This is going to start a new instance of Ubuntu. Our name, let's call it Ubuntu 22.04.3. One thing, try not to add any spaces in there, otherwise you may have to do a little bit of modification afterwards. So the ISO image I have in my downloads folder. So this is it, and we press open and skip unattended, and that's it. We literally press next, and don't worry about that. That's okay. I had a previous installation in there, so I had to go back and delete it. All right, we should be good now. All right, we're going to call the username, we're going to call it Eugene, and we'll say the password is test123. Test123. Okay, everything looks fine. We'll push next. We're going to have base memory of 2 gigabytes. We're going to use only one of the processors. We're going to have 25 gigabytes for our virtual hard drive for Ubuntu, and that's more than enough for right now. And we're going to press finish. Okay, so the virtual machine is now getting powered up. So what we're going to start to go through now is the installation steps for installing the virtual machine. This all automatically runs in the background. It has its own timers on there. and show you kind of what's going on here. And it's going through its setup steps. Once I get to one of the main pages, so the original username that we just put in is pretty important, so you're going to want to make sure that that's correct. And here it says that we're installing. Verify the installation configuration, and we'll just let it do its usual installation steps here. And what I'll do is I'll put it on pause, because really we're just leaving everything set to the defaults. Alright, everything has been installed. It's been about 5 minutes, and the virtual machine has rebooted. So here's my sign in. I'll use my password, which was test123, and push enter, and it signs us back in. So now we're going to be booting in, and it's going to be doing any last minute setup. Okay, I'm not going to worry about connecting my accounts. I'm not going to worry about upgrading to Pro. Sure, we can help improve Ubuntu. Send them info about my machine, that's fine. Not going to worry about location services right now, and we're ready to go. All right, so the next step is we need to give my account, the one that I made, the Eugene Dakin account, we need to give it sudo privileges. So this way we can run installation programs on here. So the way that we do that is go into there's a bottom left section where you press a button and it comes up with this type of information. I just type terminal. Terminal opens up, and in here, to add the Eugene Dakin account as a sudo, you type in su, and it asks me for my password, so we use the test123 that I had. Now it comes up as root at Ubuntu. So here we have to go user mod -a -G text case matters. We go sudo, we're going to give Eugene Dakin sudo privileges. Press enter, voila, that's it. So we type in exit. Now in order for this to take effect, we have to reboot it. So go up here in the corner, power off, and restart it. So now that we're restarting it, it's left the old information, and it's going to be reloading the new information with the new user privileges for the Eugene Dakin account. So we'll sign in, test, TEST123. All right, so that's booting up. Now, once that's in, we start to have to install the libraries that are needed to run Xojo. So I'm going to add a few extra libraries on here. Most of them should be included, but if not, it doesn't hurt to try and install them anyway. So we'll go back to the bottom part here. We'll open up our trusty terminal. All right, now that we've got the terminal, there's quite a few. I'm going to say about 9. So we go sudo apt get install lib C6. That's C libraries. You're going to have to type in your password every single time. Okay, so 0 upgraded, 0 newly installed, and 0 to remove, and 28 not upgraded. That's perfectly fine. So that means it's already existing. So we'll go to the next one. A shortcut is to remember the last command is by pushing the up arrow on your keyboard. No, I don't need to install that right now. So sudo apt get install lib c6. The next one is lib n curses 5. And do I want to continue? Yes. So that library isn't in there. So we're going to install that library. The next one we're going to have is libstd standard C++ version 6. That one's already on there, so that's good. Next one is libglib 2.0, and we want the development version, DEV. And yes. So this one is a bigger package because of course it's a development package. Now that that one's done, we're going to go libglib 2.0.0. That's the next one. That one's already installed, so that's good. I'm going to install libsoup 2.4-1. That's already installed, so that's good. libgtk, so that's our interfaces 2.0-0. That's already in there, great. Weston, this is for our graphics. Yeah, that one's not there, so we push yes and it installs the graphics package. And the last one is RPM. This is an installer. So we go yes. All right, so that's looking good. The next step that we need to do is we need to download the Xojo program. So there's a browser up here in the far top left-hand corner. It's going to open up. It's going to tell us that it's amazing, which is good. So let's go to xojo.com. And we're going to go to download. We want to download Xojo. Sign in. I'm going to put my username in here, and then once the username and password have been put in, then I'll restart the video. Alright, that's been there. Don't save it. I want to download this for Linux, but I have to make sure that I get the Debian Linux version. This is really, really important. So I'm going to download that one, and it's going to take a while. So it's 1.1 gigabytes. So I'm going to pause it, and once it's finished downloading, then we'll continue. Xojo has completely downloaded. So we're going to show all downloads. I'm going to go to that folder, so that's good. That's there. The next step is we need to get to the downloads folder. So the terminal is still open. So to get to the downloads folder, we go CD downloads. Make sure you use the capital D in the downloads. That's important. So right now we're at the downloads folder. We've got that file. Okay, the next step is to install it. So the way that we install it is we need to use the, here I got to type out the command. So it is sudo dpkg, so that's our package. We go space -i for install. And oh, one thing that I didn't mention, I need to type in pwd. So this is our current working directory. So it shows that this is home Eugene Dakin downloads. Okay, that's going to be important. So let's continue on with that installation line. So we're going to type in sudo dpkg-i. Then I have to type out the pwd. So /home/Eugene Dakin /downloads. And again, remember, capital letters are important. And up at the top, we have the name of the Xojo file. So we go Xojo 2023 r2.deb, and we hit enter. So right now it's going to install, and this installation is the same. It's all now going to self-install. There's no any extra steps that you have to have. It's just going to install like any other installation. So I'm going to pause it for right now while it's working on the virtual computer. Okay, Xojo has been installed. One last thing that we want to change is we want to change the permissions for the plugin folder. because if you want to try and take a plugin from some of the helpful plugin creators and place it in the plugin folder, it won't allow you to do that. You have to give permission to actually be able to have access to that folder. So let's go to the installation folder. So we're going to go up here. We'll make sure and figure out where the actual directory is. So we'll open up our files. Now that we're there, go to other locations, and it's located in the computer. OPT, where's O? There it is. Xojo, there, and you can see our plugins folder is here. So we have to go one directory up. So we'll click on the Xojo one, and on here I'm going to open that in the terminal. So when you do it this way, it automatically goes to this folder, which is great. So we have to remember the plugin's name, and it's with a capital P. So to give permission to be able to copy and paste, let me show you what happens if you don't try and do it. So if you go into the plugins, and let's say we're just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to copy it, and I should be able to paste it. The error that I'm going to get is could not paste files because permissions do not allow pasting files in this directory. The operating system hasn't been given permission to paste in this directory. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to give it permission. We're in the opt Xojo 2023R2 folder, which is great, and we go sudo chmod. We're going to change the permissions, and we're going to go +777, and the folder is called plugins. We got to put in our password. Yes, we want to make sure that that's fine. So it's test123. All right, now we should have permission. So go into here. Notice that now there's a lock on these. If we go copy and I just push Control V, we're now able to paste or move around and delete the folders that are in that file. So this is great. This is working exactly the way that it should. The last step is, let's just run a really quick program. So we'll show the applications, and if we type in Xojo, there it is. And it's going to start. Yes, we agree with the license agreement. It's going to start 2023. Sure, we'll send information to the servers, let them know that what we're working on to help prevent any bugs. Start using Xojo. Let's just do a simple desktop program. Great, let's put a button on there, and let's put a label. Okay, just for fun. Let's push run. Done assembling the code. And there we go. Everything's working. So this is how to get a virtual machine and then install Ubuntu on the virtual machine and install Xojo, so that way you can also put material plugins into the plugin folder. I hope this helps you out, and have yourself a good one.